Hello? एक सेकंड. Just a second. Okay, here we go.
Now this is for all my ladies, all original gangsters, all my thugs. This is Clutchy Ranks, Cobra Khan, picking up all shot callers. 20-inch hardest for rims on my Bentley, sipping on the Hennessy, 5 days bag of Kiki. If you ever see me, don't try to be me, because I'm high as a motherfucker. Strapped to the teeth and grenade and Glock 40, want a war started, Kingfish can't party, pop it off and clot it, now go feel arty, it will make you cry as a motherfucker. No, if you really wanna get your party on, just pick out your cash and girls turn you on. Let me see your hands up, let me see your hands up. If you wanna party all night until the break of dawn and have whole heap of girls to go on and on. Let me see your hands up, let me see your hands up. Your space you define, try not say nothing, not even a sign, try not show nothing, not even the time, try not tell nothing. And if you see me nine, you no know nothing, pretend like you're blind and no see nothing. And if you see a dime, try not touch nothing, see the war and the crime and no fear nothing. Them search up me place and them never find nothing.
Hello. Welcome, दोस्तों. This is Mad Linesman FPL podcast, and I'm your host, Mir Amir, alongside fellow mad lad Pritish, urf FPL fiddler. Game week 2. Hi. How are you, man?
Good. It's been good first 2 weeks. So
Yeah, हाँ. काफी high scoring weeks रहे दोनों. But we saw the captaincy come back down to normal earth with all 3 of the top choice captains failing, Bruno, Salah and Son. And I think out of all the people that I personally know, I was the only one who got a captain return, and it sort of covered up for Simicast. So it was a good game week. Whenever your captain works, it's good for you.
yeah, for sure.
So
You
how was
also have
your
a combination of Antonio and Benrahma. So I think
yeah
Yeah.
that
combo worked.
yeah we'll come to that. So about your team, like let us go through your team.
So I'm saying it out of memory, but I'm guessing
Yeah.
I'll remember it.
Yeah.
So my team has been unchanged for the first 2 game weeks.
Hmm.
I have Sanchez in goal. And before I go on, I think my team is the Twitter template, except for maybe Antonio. My team is the Twitter template. So my team has it has Sanchez in goal. Then there is
To your
Shaw, TA, Simicas. These are that 3 which I had. Then I played with
Game
a
week. Whenever your
mid
captain
5
works, it's good for
of
you.
Harrison,
Yeah, for sure.
Son,
So how was
Salah,
your
Bruno,
Combination of Antonio
and
yeah?
Benrahma. And up top, I have 2 players in Ings and Ivan Toney. And my bench is made up of 4.0 goalkeeper, Begovic. And then I have White, Ailing, and a 4.5 starter, Perica, who's not even in Europe anymore, but he's in my
Yeah.
team. So
Yep. Yep.
that's my team, and the only difference being that in game week one, uh, like I was too late. Like I made a transfer, I think, in the last 30 seconds,
Hmm.
and accidentally Ailing was in my starting 11 and Harrison was on the bench. And I was cursing myself for doing that.
Hmm.
But as luck would have it, it turned out fine for me. Ailing came back with a goal return. He gave me 6 points in a
The
game where
FPL
Phillips was
gods were
trapped.
with you, as we say it.
Yeah, so that happened. And this week, of course, Ailing went on the bench and Harrison started. So that's the
Hmm.
only difference between my first two game weeks. What about yours? How's your team looking?
What was your point total? Missed that.
Game week one, I had 106 points.
Hmm.
Game week two, I had 67 points.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So for my team, I had Sanchez in goal, like almost all the rest of the Twitter, and Trent, of course, the template king. Ailing, uh, I had to start Ailing in defense because Target sort of got bombed out of the team. His career was ended by Ismaila Sarr in game week one, and my other defender also sort of fucked me over. Weltman, nobody knew about his COVID, and yeah, these unfortunate things happen to you, but I still managed to somehow pick the rest of my squad pretty well, and I got a game week one score of 94, I think, 94 points, and game week two got me 91 points. So back to back 90s has been good for sure. So yeah, Ailing and my third defender, which I think has been my best pick, differential pick so far, was Dyer. I didn't see a lot of teams have Dyer before the season kicked off, and I always looked at him and said that I'm pretty sure that he'll make the first team. He'll be the first choice over Sanchez for Nuno unless they sign another centre back. We'll get to that later. Then there's Greenwood in midfield, Salah, of course, and I went for Mane instead of Bruno. Uh, and yeah, Mane to is a pure feels pick. It's the kind of player you put in your team and you're just like, oh man, if this works out, then I'll be like wanking all over the place. and and then there's Ben Rama. Uh, there's Jimenez up front, who I really hoped would work out. But we'll get to that, of course, also. Antonio and Ings up top. And my bench is Steele, Target, who got bombed out, Gilmore, and Weltman for game week 2, that is. So, yep, 91 all out and pretty good game week. Yep.
So, what are your immediate like plans? Because I think, given the fact that like whatever I heard from your team, there is, I think you've been pushed into a spot because you cannot carry forward more than two transfers, and
Hmm.
that's a little. I mean, that's one of the things about the game which I'm not very fond of. But what is there? Who are the players you're looking at in terms of shipping out? Who you get
Yeah.
in is a conversation for later. But who are
Yeah.
who according to you are the problem players? Because when I heard of Weltman also, he doesn't seem like an out and out problem to me. Because even if he has COVID and um,
He's
he
already
will.
out of my team.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So then that's
So,
that's the guy you shipped out.
yeah, I already shipped him out for Liveramento because he was dropping. And I usually don't like to pay attention to drops, but yeah, price rises have been crazy this year. And as soon as Game Week 2 started, I think the obvious, clear and obvious transfer for me was Target, because he just seemed like he was bombed out and their fixtures turn bad. Initially, when I got him, I thought that um I wouldn't have any transfers to make, so I should just get Target for the first three, and then I'll ship him out for whoever is the closest good 5 million option, or a 5.5 if someone emerges. It'll be easier for me because it'll be closer to Target. But Target just fucked me over, and I was thinking about it when the game week started that it's the obvious transfer out, and I was going to transfer him out for Livramento. But I wasn't looking at the price rises, and he just fell before Weltman did. So I missed that drop, and then the Weltman drop was also going to happen. So I was like, um Target has already dropped, so it'll take him at least a week to drop another time in price. And you don't know what's with Weltman's COVID, if it's a long COVID, or how his form is gonna be when he'll be back. Duffy's been playing well, so all of those question marks just made it easier for me to ship out Weltman for Livramento. And the drop just happened like this morning, so I avoided that. And
And Target gave you a clean sheet last week.
are you making fun of me?
No, I'm asking. I mean, you had him in your starting 11, didn't you? That's what I
No,
gathered,
no,
that
no.
you didn't move out Target, you moved out Weltman. That's what I heard.
No, I saved the transfer in game week 2, of course. And this week I was gonna take out Target for whoever, a cheaper guy, probably Livramento. But then he had already fallen by the time I checked the. I think by Tuesday he had already fallen. So I thought Weltman's also gonna fall, and I should take him out, and he did. He just did. So I had a Target first on my bench because I knew he wouldn't start, and even if he did, I didn't fancy their chances for clean sheet against Newcastle, but they somehow kept a clean.
I think they were just
And
very lucky. They were
yeah,
just very lucky. There was a one-on-one, I think, big chance which
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
Callum Wilson had. So yeah, they were
yeah.
just very lucky. And typically, those are the kind of big chances which Callum Wilson always converts, and which is what makes him such a consistent source of points when he's starting, and irrespective of the opponent. So I think that was a random event,
Yeah, yeah.
even more random than the uh, one chance which Ings got.
Yep, yeah. So, should we get to the fixtures from last week and discuss them one by one?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yep. So, the first game was Liverpool Burnley, of course. You being the Liverpool fan, you want to talk about that?
So I think for me, the high point of the game was when Salah got his first goal. I mean, which was ruled offside. And what made me really, really excited about that goal was the nature of the pass which Harvey Elliott made. Because
Hmm.
Harvey Elliott typically is a right winger. That is his strong suit. That's his favored position. But the fact that he played RCM and he was able to contribute so much in the game, that was really, really heartening for me. And I mean, hats off to Klopp that he has put so much trust and faith in him. He has placed so much faith in him, and I think it's one game is too early to say anything. But if Harvey Elliott keeps on playing like that, he'll be yet another young guy honed to become a great player by Klopp, and that's something which he's been doing since his Dortmund days. So
Hmm.
Harvey Elliott could be the next big guy who comes out from the academy. The last one, I think, being TA, and Curtis Jones is also somewhere in the middle right now. So that
Hmm.
was my high point. The cross which Simicast
Hmm.
gave was again it.
Oh, I think we lost Pritish. Just a second. Technical difficulties.
Yeah. Hi.
Light? Was that a
As
power
you can,
cut?
yeah. As you can see, the I've lost electricity at my place, but that's okay. I'm sure it'll come back in a bit. Meantime, people can uh, see my silhouette. Maybe
Yeah,
I think it
the
looks like
silhouette.
a silhouette.
I see something, but
Yeah.
I can hear you. We can hear you. Yep.
I'll keep smiling. I'll keep smiling. That way, people will know where my face is, my teeth. So anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
so I was saying that Simicas was the kind of the cross which he sent to Jota, and the way he was playing, and the fact that he has, I think in the first game he had 12 crosses in the box,
Mm-hmm.
albeit only three of them were successful. But it's really heartening again as a Liverpool fan because we've not had a very prolific transfer window compared to the other teams, and I think it was really it was good to know that there is a decent backup to Robbo moving forward.
Pritish,
So
your
that was
voice is
nice.
Your voice is sort of getting robotic. You can turn off
Okay,
the camera.
I'll
That's fine.
turn. Yeah, maybe that will help. Yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
that
yeah,
will help.
yeah,
Is it better now?
yeah.
Yeah,
Much
so I was
better.
saying that seeing the way Simicas has played in the first two games was very heartening because Robbo was almost he was like he was made to run on like smoke last year. The number of games he played, and Simicas would be able to be the much needed relief which Robbo requires. And we've not had a very prolific transfer window compared to the other big teams in fact, even compared to many non-traditional top six teams, also our transfer window has been quite
Hmm.
boring, so to say.
Hmm.
Except for
Hmm.
Konate, there's no other signing. So it's nice to see that within the existing set of talent, there are players who can fill in the shoes, who are almost coming back and doing the job which a new player might have done. So those were two very big high points for me. The low point for me in that game was Mane's selfishness. Salah showed a very strong streak of being unselfish in the first game. You know, Mir, that made
Hmm.
me
Hmm. Hmm.
very happy because it's pretty evident that if these two guys are playing for each other and they are
Hmm.
not being selfish, then the attack becomes that much more stronger for Liverpool.
Hmm.
And seeing Mane do something selfish was a little bit of a dampener, was a little bit of a, it did make me slightly sad. But I'm hoping that maybe it was in that spur of the moment, he felt that he could take that shot. Maybe he didn't
Yeah.
see Salah. I mean, there
First
could be
game
so
again
many
in
reasons.
front of the crowd, Anfield crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. You
Could,
think
could
there's sort of a rivalry between Salah and Mane within the team?
I think Salah has gone beyond that.
Yeah.
So it's almost like Salah has made peace with it because Salah
Hmm.
knows that he's in a different league altogether. I mean, his stats are there to speak for him.
Hmm.
And Mane still, I don't know. I mean, there is a
No,
possibility, and I'm again,
I see it from Salah also so many times, like, and from Mane equally. That sometimes they just have a clear pass to each other and they go for the shot.
that's what. In the first game, it was very heartening to see the number of times Salah was looking for Mane.
Hmm.
No,
Hmm. Hmm.
it was very evident. There was so many times that he kept looking for Mane. He kept looking for Jota also, for that matter, and
Hmm.
that was really heartening to see. And I think I have a feeling that Salah has turned over a new leaf, and
Hmm.
we will see a far more unselfish Salah this season, and that's great, because a lot of people, there is this narrative which says that a selfish guy gives more points. I don't think so at all. An
Hmm.
unselfish Salah will be better at BPS because he will have lesser missed chances. He'll have fewer missed chances, and unselfish Salah will also mean more assist points coming in for him. So if he does that, I think he will be a better FPL asset. I mean, even better than what he is already. So that is
Hmm.
something I'm looking forward to. In that match, unpopular opinion which I have is that Liverpool defense doesn't look as robust as it looks on paper. And in both the matches, there were
Yeah, it
very
was.
clear cut chances for the opponents.
I think Allison was just phenomenal in that game. He made a few game-winning saves. There was one save that he made, which was an offside shot, but it was just phenomenal. And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so,
Yeah, even in the Norwich game, I think within 1 second he had three saves. When there was
hmm.
this scramble at the box
Yeah, yeah,
inside the box,
yep,
So
yep.
I
that's
think
my
he saved
my
made
team
three
has
saves
been
from
rebuilt.
hardly say 2 yards
So, what your
within one
team like?
second. So
Saying
he
it out of
almost
memory, but I'm guessing you
went
might
into a
remember it.
superhero mode
Yeah.
moment. And had it
Hmm.
not been for Allison, Liverpool wouldn't have clean sheets right now,
Hmm.
and which I think makes it a great time for Liverpool, for people who own Simicast are being iffy about it, and move to say a Livramento or a Duffy. It just makes that much more sense because I think the clean sheets are going to dry up in the next two games.
I don't
Chelsea
know.
will
I
score.
don't know. I think just BVD being there, and he doesn't allow attackers enough space to make that kind of a shot which would trouble Allison. And him just being there, I think, makes it really easy for their defense. In a total, uh,
Yeah,
as a whole. So
yeah.
yeah, the
No,
fixtures
no,
are still
speaking
there.
about the defense,
Yeah.
yeah, speaking about the defense, I also want to highlight that in both these games, I've seen a far better defender in TA than in the previous three seasons.
Hmm.
In the first game, especially, there was a clearance which he made from the line. His
Hmm.
positioning within the box when it comes to defending has become far more intelligent. He is not the guy who's chasing the attacker and then slipping and falling and getting missed. He is he is doing something which we see really intelligent defenders do, which is he's trying to see where will the ball go next, and he's trying to position himself there.
In
So
both
that is
these games,
something
I've seen a
great to see,
far
and of course he's very very young and he is going to develop, and I see him becoming a complete defender very soon, and that's again something heartening to see. If I talk about Burnley, I think Burnley has been little
Before you go there, I want to ask you about Matip as a FPL option. What do you think about him?
he gets in. Matip is a great FPL option, is what
Hmm.
I say, but only if you are willing to. And again, see, I will classify Matip, I will classify Duffy, and both of them in a certain type of FPL asset, which is that if you know that if you are rather if you are willing to accept the fact that you are going to use two transfers inevitably on them, then go for it. Or
Hmm.
else, if you know that you're willing to get them in, and even if they lose their spot due to rotation or due to let's say injury, then you're willing to hold that spot till you play a wild card. Then
Hmm.
Matip
Hmm.
is a great guy to bring in because I think Konate is being bedded in, and Matip's injury record says that I have a feeling it'll coincide with his injury happening eventually and Konate starting for Liverpool. I see that happening. It might be coincidental, but I see both those things happening simultaneously. As of now, Matip is a great guy to own, and
Hmm.
it's what 5.0, I think
Yep. 5, I think.
five
Yes. 5 million.
5.0 And because of VVD's presence, a lot of times we don't notice the kind of aerial threat he is at on corners. He is
Exactly.
crazy.
Yep. Yep.
He's good. He's really good. So Matip is a great guy to own if you know that within a few
Yeah.
weeks you will clear a wild card, and if
If
you
if
don't have
I
any
if
other
I
fires to
was
try.
if I was wildcarding right now, I'd really consider him as an option. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah. 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 And so moving on to Burnley. Yeah, you had something to say about them. Hello. Hello. Maybe his power came back on. What is up? What a fun stream. Power cuts and technical difficulties, but that's the game. That's the game we play. Let me just call him and check. हेलो. हाँ भाई, तुम्हारी आवाज़ आनी बंद हो गई. अच्छा अच्छा, हाँ, एज्यूम्ड. ओके ओके. Yeah. Guess who's
Yeah,
back?
yeah. Lights back, Wi-Fi is back, my
That's
face is
back.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think you can also switch on your camera now. There shouldn't be the bandwidth shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, was
So
just a
I,
second.
I was just saying that Burnley's defense takes a while to click, and this season is no exception. They will take a little bit of a while, and I think Sean Dyche is trying to do something new with Burnley, and I'm sure he will. I really rate him as a very resilient manager. He's a very never say die kind of a guy, and a lot of people have been making jokes about Burnley getting relegated. Now that would be great for the EPL in terms of viewing. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I mean, you need to have teams like Burnley who can get a clean sheet against the best of the best teams, because that's an upset in itself. So I would love to see Burnley stay up. And let's see, I hope Sean Dyche is able to crack something new to do with Burnley, because as I don't know if this got whether I missed it out or whether I got disconnected before it. But I think the bigger, more attacking teams have figured a way around to work around their low block defense. So it's not as foolproof as it used to be, say, 2 seasons back.
Yeah, I just I see them as a good defense, but against lower opposition, and yeah, it as of now I think they look like a team to target for captaincies. Uh, the way they're setting up, and they're more attack minded, just like end of last season. Um, Yeah, but I do believe in Sean Dyche like you do. I really rate him as a manager. Whenever the camera cuts to him in the middle of the game and he's just screaming his lungs out at Wood,
Yeah,
I
and
I,
I
I
mean, this
hmm,
this actually, I mean, I'm not, as promised, I will not throw stats. But there is something very interesting. I looked at Burnley and they were in the top three, or rather bottom three of shots conceded. I wasn't surprised because that is something which is typical of Burnley, that they will give up a lot of shots, but they'll be low quality shots. Then I looked up the XGC, and even there they are in the worst three. Now that's telling a different story. That is saying that the kind of shots they are conceding this year are good quality shots. They are not bad quality shots which led to Pope making a lot of save points in the game. So that is something to watch out for. And let's see. I mean, a lot of times teams try to transition from one style of play to another, and they end up screwing it all up.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Agree with that. So the first fixture, we finally gotten past the first fixture. The second one was Villa Newcastle 2-0. What do you did you watch that game? I sort of missed that game.
I saw the
Uh,
extended highlights of that game,
yeah,
and
so
I
did
think
I.
two
Yeah.
things which really caught my eye was first, something which I mentioned earlier was Wilson's miss. Second was the way Ings took the goal, and actually three things. And third was uh, Martinez's hoof up, which for some reason was not like it didn't turn into a penalty. So I think these were the three big things which
It
caught my eye.
it it was an offside call. I think that's why it wasn't a penalty. Yeah. It was. I mean, the penalty was given, but it was offside. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If we take the precedent set by our honorable Pickford, where he screwed Van Dijk's legs for an entire season, and because it was offside, nothing happened. Why not? Why not? Martinez
I
was still better off than that.
Yeah, he should have gotten a yellow or something at least. Did he get a
Yeah,
yellow?
I think so.
I
He
don't
did.
think. Yeah.
I think so. He did. I think so. He did. But there was no penalty. So yeah, that's the only thing I noticed. And another thing is that Ings is, I think he's going to be one of those players where the stats don't support, the fixtures go bad, and anyone who gets off him might might feel bad about the fact that this bugger is scoring against every team, and he
Yeah.
might just get one goal, or say two goals out of every three matches. He might just be able to do that. But I
Yeah,
have a
but
feeling that
back to back games, they've just been the worst, one of the worst teams in chances created, in creating chances for Ings, and that's not a good sign as of now. I mean, they might get better as Buendia gels into this team, as Bailey gets
Bailey,
more
yeah,
time.
Leon
I'm really
Bailey,
excited
yeah,
about Bailey's prospects.
same here, same here.
Yeah,
Buendia, Bailey, Watkins, three
yeah,
essential cogs are missing right now. Of course, Buendia is there, but he's not in his best form right now. And I think with all those three players clicking, it'll be great. And something which I was discussing with Siddharth also was that once Bailey and Watkins start, then Ings is guaranteed to be on pens because they will eat into El Ghazi's spot.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that is
That
also
that's
something to look
that's
into.
a fair point. That's a fair point. But it just frustrates me so much that I never even for a second considered Buendia going into the season, and just like he got injured and like he recovered a few weeks before the season kicked off, and then he was in no teams basically at and I mean, it would have been so much fun if so many people owned him, and he would suck the way he's sucking right now. And it's just
That would have just led to a faster rise for Benrama. Because the thing with Aston Villa is that everyone was in it for the first three games.
yeah, yeah,
Anyone and everyone I know, even people who have Martinez as goalkeeper, they have game week 4 as an exit plan. They had committed to that before they got him. So yeah, I mean, it would have been bad, but Ben Rama would have saved the day for many people. And from 6.5, it was a down. It's just a downgrade to us, even 6.3 or 6.4.
yeah, and there are plenty of those in the game.
Yeah.
um
Now I'm saying that even if Ben Rama went up, it would have been. It wouldn't
yeah,
be tough to move
to
down.
get to him, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see anything from Willock? I thought I was gonna
No.
monitor him, but I in the highlights I didn't see anything from him.
No. Nothing. Nothing. I even looked up the stats. There's nothing major coming in from Villa. Um, let's see. And last year also
One to watch.
he had overperformed his expected goals by a huge margin. It was almost like a 70 to 90% overperformance of his XG. So, I mean, I would say it's a one to watch, but I'm not super excited about him.
Moving on to the next game, Palace versus Brentford, a nil-nil draw. Um,
I didn't see this match. The only thing I noticed was Gallagher's attempt, which hit the crossbar twice. Besides
there
that, did
was
you watch the match? Did you watch the
no. I
match?
also saw the match of the day, and there was a few Tony chances, like a header which wasn't really on target. I mean, he didn't. He hasn't looked like the finisher that everybody was hoping he would be so far. But you're a Tony owner. Like, how do you feel about him right now?
I'm 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 going to hold him because I think uh, a pre-existing hype is making a lot of people expect things out of him. But if I wipe the hype away and I just look at him as a 6.5 striker, I am okay. I'm willing to give him time till his fixtures go dry or till his fixtures take a bad turn. And in Adam Armstrong, there is a great exit route. So I'm in no hurry, even if he drops in price. Adam Armstrong is not going to rise and become more expensive than him over the next 3 to 4 game weeks. I hope so. And yeah, so I don't see a problem in being patient with Tony. And I mean, that's the thing. He's also on pens. He's also the pointsman inside the box when the team is taking corners. He is the focal point of the team. So it's okay. I mean, even if over the next 3 game weeks, which is a total of 5 game weeks, if he gives ends up giving 2 to 3 goals, I won't be upset. Anything beyond that is uh, is great to have.
I mean, after game week one, I mean, Arsenal makes every team look like invincibles, but I was hoping a lot from Brentford, and Palace have just been so disorganized, and they couldn't create as many chances against them, which is off putting for me. And I I I don't really know if they'll be able to turn it up and match the levels of the Premier League. I mean, it might be too much to ask from them, and they're not the same team that was in the Championship a few seasons ago when they had Watkins, they had Ben Rama, they had those guys, and they were putting much better numbers than they did last season. So I mean, there was a lot of hype about them, and there has been a hype about them for years now. You know, so maybe it's just the hype that has got so many people excited about Brentford. But as of now, I'm nowhere near any Brentford asset unless I see them perform, which I was hoping they would do against Palace.
Cigarette smoking is injurious to health. Please do not
Yeah.
smoke.
Yes. Yes.
I think you know what something very interesting which you touched upon, and if I take this whole assumption of they are not the same team as they were in the championship, there is another aspect to it too. Everyone was expecting them to be a version of Leeds,
Yeah.
but actually they're turning out to be a version of Wolves when they came up, which is playing a back three, being very
Yes. Yes.
solid defensively. I think you know what something very interesting not which you looking touched upon, to and only if attack without by compromising the back line, and having a player like Mbuemo who is almost who's doing a very Jota-esque kind of a role, and I see Tony doing a very Jimenez kind of a role. So if you look back at Wolves 3 seasons back when they got promoted, I see a lot of similarity between them and between the way Brentford is playing right now. So maybe it's a conscious call which the manager has made, knowing very well that in order to stay up in the Premier League, you have to be defensively solid first. Then you can start attacking. So I think you are right, and for more than one reason, to say that it's not the same Brentford which was playing in the championship which is playing now.
Yeah, but even the defense I'm not so sure about, because Gameweek 1 they led up the most number of chances against in any game, and that too against Arsenal. So I just don't see good signs from them as of now. I'm expecting more from them. You know.
But if I remember right, if
Hmm.
game week one, though they gave up a truckload of chances against Arsenal,
Hmm. Hmm.
I think the number of big chances which they gave up were not that high. So, which
They were
again,
Arsenal after all.
yeah, they were Arsenal. Then they were Arsenal without Oba and
Yeah.
Lacazette, and except for that one shot which Pepe took, there was a
Hmm.
cross from the left hand side, and Pepe almost slotted it into the bottom right hand corner.
Hmm.
Except
Hmm.
for that one shot, there wasn't anything which was really like.
Hmm.
So I'm looking at it. Big chances total. Arsenal had zero.
Yeah.
So, they did give up a lot of chances, but they were not big chances. So again, coming back to the point that they are defensively more solid than expected, and they are, from an attacking point of view, weaker than what expected. So, a lot of,
Right.
I think, Az has gone with Raya,
Hmm.
and he's he's
As
having a good time.
started the season with Raya.
I think so. Az has Raya, I think.
Wow. Good. Good. Good pick. I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Um. There's a little noise coming from your side, I think. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Leeds versus Everton. Yep. 2-2
I think that was
the
the most
result.
that was the most exciting game of the week.
Very entertaining game. Yeah.
Why don't you speak about that a bit? I mean, I've been going on for a while now. Why don't
Yeah,
you?
so really exciting game, end to end stuff. DCL putting up great numbers. It seems like from the look of it, as of now, from the few data points that we've had, it seems like Rafa uh, has somehow found a way to unlock the potential of Gray. And Gray looked amazing that game. Like he was and creating so many chances. Uh, and DCL also like looked a far better version of what we saw from him last year. Like he was making the right runs and not just being isolated up top. Waiting for headers. I saw him doing a lot more, and I really liked DCL in this game. And then we saw Leeds like put up a fight in the second half, like they're known to do in front of their own crowd. It was also in front of their own crowd, and the the noise levels were just crazy in that game, and really like high energy. Great game. Yeah.
It was. I think I saw. All of us saw the Leeds home crowd for the first time.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was something else. It was something else altogether. One thing about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which I picked up from the FPL Surgery podcast,
Hmm.
is that because he misses so many chances, because he gets so many chances, he's actually very poor on bonus points. His
Hmm.
bonus points will get compromised a lot. That is one thing to keep an eye out for, because if you are bringing in a striker who's going to score, let's say, one goal, maybe, uh,
Hmm.
of course, he will have his days when he braces and maybe has a hat trick too. But if he's a one goal striker, and if that's the case, then not getting bonus points is something which makes him slightly unsexy for me at 8.2 million. Slightly. And
Hmm.
again, given the fact that there are options like Antonio, there are options like Ings, there are options yet to open up in Bamford and Jimenez.
Jimenez.
So that is something to watch out for. And Gray is colorful. Gray is so colorful this time. And let's see. And even for that matter, have you seen the way Iwobi has been playing? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's also been a man possessed. Some again, some a form of Iwobi which I didn't see in these many seasons.
Yeah, yeah, but it's really like sketchy that these guys who you've never seen perform, like Gray and Ivoby, are turning up. It's only been like 2 weeks, but it's I don't know if it's sustainable. We'll have to wait for that, I guess. But apart from these two, I think Dokure has also been uh, very attacking and making a lot of runs into the box and dictating the play. What do you think about Dokure?
Yes, I'm loving his late runs into the box.
Yeah,
Um, he seems confident. He's always seemed confident when he takes a shot, and I loved the shot he took in the first game where he
yeah.
turned around, did a 360, took a yard, and then took the shot. That was really impressive. But more than Gray and Iwobi, I think Dukure for me is a bigger wait and watch, because while I am seeing Gray and Iwobi having the task of sending balls to DCL, Dukure himself is taking shots. So he
Hmm.
might turn out to be someone like a Megan or like a Click, that
Hmm.
when they take shots, when they score goals, they'll be worldies, but when they
Hmm.
go off, they are invisible.
Right, right. Any other picks from this game?
I think Rafinha, we must mention him.
Hmm.
He was possessed. He was gunning for the goal. He was gunning for crosses throughout the
And
game.
his goal was just wow,
Sublime.
sublime.
And I think another point is that Harrison has been hugging the touchline for the last two games. So that's a little bit of a concern for me. I have him, but I went through all the matches he played last year, and I looked at the heat maps, and I noticed one thing, that I'm sorry for this noise at my house. I mean,
It's fine. It's fine.
carpenters are home. So when they are up against a low block defense, then Harrison gets a lot of permission to come into the box.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
that is something which maybe the next game will be a reveal for that,
इनार
whether Harrison
बाहर
gets
जाके कर ले
that
बात प्लीज.
role to play or not. And in fact, even in the Carabao Cup, he got that permission, and then he
Hmm.
ended
Hmm.
up scoring, I think, twice. So that was there, and the pass which Bamford made, which Click slotted in, uh, it could very well have been Harrison if Click wasn't there to make the late run into the box.
Yeah, we'll discuss your transfers by the end of the stream. Um, moving on to the next game, City versus Norwich, 5-0 at the Etihad. It's just bizarre what this what happened in this game. It just it made no sense to me. Like
Four,
Norwich don't even look
four,
like a championship level side. Like they were
four
so
goals.
bad.
Four, I think no, it's three goals. Three goals were almost like replicas of each other.
It's
The
like
own
deja
goal,
vu. Every single time they just conceded from the same side, the same way. Tim Krul just looking like he has no idea where the ball's gonna go. It's just non-functioning from Norwich. It was bizarre
es-
to watch.
especially the left flank. Especially the left flank. The left flank is it's just so bad, and it's a big concern. And I think another thing which is problematic is, I think, on top of the Pep Rule, which gives people a lot of nightmares and stress, the fact that there is no talisman in the Man
Hmm.
City team is a big concern. I think it's a very big concern. The fact that out the team scored 5 goals and all 5 goals came from 5 different sources, I think that's a
Hmm.
very big concern. So, what do you think about that? Do you think it's just a matter of time before a talisman emerges?
in the City squad, I mean, it's being too hopeful because the squad depth is just increasing every year, and yeah, I played that roulette last year, and I quickly got off it because it did not work out for me, and that is the reason I went away from Gundogan in the early part of the season when he went crazy, and by the time I got him, he had dried up, and I tried going for the sure shot defenders in Stones and uh, Diaz and Cancelo, but that got me locked in last season, and I realized that there's no way to win the Pep roulette. You will get hurt somehow if you buy the ticket to the raffle. You will get fucked eventually.
Unless you
So,
go Edison. Unless you go Edison.
but
And
you can't be serious about Edison because
I
he's
have I have a rationale for it. Hear me out.
okay.
The rationale is uh, when you look at Edison, you think that there are other 5.0 and 4.5 options out there.
Mm, yeah,
That is what makes people not choose Edison.
he's well,
But
he's 6 million and
yeah,
he'll
but
never
but
get bonus.
but if you look at a few factors, or rather few historical points, then Edison doesn't look that bad. Last year he was the highest scoring Man City player, less than
Hmm.
Harrison, but the team which played Man City, he was the highest scoring player. Second thing, any team from which you look at a 4.5 goalkeeper, unless it's a Martinez, unless it's a Pope 3 seasons back, there will always be a 4.5 defender available who can get you the same clean sheet points. Third factor, the fact, I mean, of course, the window is still open, but the fact that the City still does not have a good replacement for Aguero, they still don't. The Kane deal seems, I think it's fallen flat. And given that they might not get a solid striker, Pep is going to once again prioritize clean sheets and then look at scoring goals. And if that happens, I won't be surprised if once again this year Edison is within the top 2 or 3 players, keeping in mind that there is no attacking talisman also. He's in the top 2 or 3 players to get goals, to get points out of the City team.
Yeah, I mean, but then why not go for Diaz at the same price, who has the upside of bonus points if it's a tight game, and the odd assist and headers of maybe.
Because if I am spending 6 million on a defender, I
Hmm.
don't want him to be benched for even one game. That's the
I
reason why.
I mean I think Diaz is as nailed as Edison. I would say. I would go as far to say.
I see where you're coming from. I
Hmm.
definitely, I mean, to a great extent, I accept that. Um, but there are still options for the Diaz spot. For the Edison spot, there aren't. And can I have an Edison and not go through Man City forums in December when the fixture crunch happens? Yes, I can. With Diaz, I'll still have to go to all the forums and check whether he's starting or not. And for a 6 million defender to do that, I mean, I might as well put my, if I want sleepless nights, then I might as well spend a little bit less and get it from Reese James. So,
Fair
I
enough.
mean, that's
Fair
my
enough.
submission.
Yeah, I'm actually I buy your logic. But since they're not buying a striker, what I'd really like to talk about is the prospects of Ferran Torres. Do you think with Gabriel Jesus looking like a world beater on the right wing,
Right way.
and Pep after the game saying that everybody who played well will keep their spots, you think he'd prefer Jesus on the wing and is more of a competition to Mahrez now, and that sort of frees up a spot up front for Ferran?
I will. So I have committed to playing the wild card in game week 8, and I think this is a learning which I had from the Euros. That when you commit to playing your wild card, life becomes very easy, because then you won't do stupid things till you reach that point, and you can plan your life post that point.
But when
So
you're about to
I
reach
think
that point, or you want to do the most stupidest shit because you're committed to the wild card.
I'm free to do a few stupid things, which I will talk about when we come to our transfer plans.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have a very, very, very stupid plan in mind,
But
and I will.
Ferran first.
Yeah. So Ferran, I think till game week 7, it will become clear once the Champions League matches also start. It will become clear how nailed he is. Agreed, Jesus is better on the right hand side, but can Jesus play as a striker? Of course he can. Of course he can. Can Sterling play as a striker? Yes, he can. Is he the best option? Maybe not. But can he? Yes, he can.
It has
When
literally
Foden
never
is
worked for Pep. He has played him there a few times, but it has never worked. So I mean, I don't know about Sterling.
but
Maybe
yeah, if but there is a very
KDB
I would
false
say
nine. Maybe I see that, but even he's not fit. We don't know what's up with him. Like Martinez just told us that he will not be available for Arsenal game week 3, so he's out for sure. And maybe Farhan's an option. I mean, I don't know.
he I would, as I said, it's great to wait till
He's
game week 7.
he's
It's
seven
great to wait.
million.
Yes.
Seven.
If he nails the spot, he will be a bandwagon before we can spell the word bandwagon.
Even if he doesn't, 7 million for a City striker who plays like 2 out of 3 games. Maybe isn't that great? I mean, I don't know. I think
I
it's
if it's see
an out of
if it's a
position mid.
proven if it's a proven striker if it's a proven striker who's playing 2 out of 3 games in at City, my answer would be a resounding yes. If it's a proven striker,
Sid has
if
joined us in
it's
the chat saying, "Meanwhile, Pep, what even is a striker?"
yes, that's a very valid question.
That's true. I mean,
But yeah, I think
nobody's really a
Ferran,
striker, and nobody's really
we should
bound to
wait till,
any position in Pep's system.
we should wait till the Champions League starts, at least till the first 3 group matches take place, and that will give us a very clear picture about Ferran Torres's role in the team. And we have to also wait till Foden gets back, because that will also give us even more clarity on his role. So if he nails it, he's going to be um, Gundogan 2.0 for a lot of for a lot of FPL managers.
Let me be a little clickbaity right now and ask you about the prospects of Ronaldo to City. What do you?
I was excited about it, but you burst the bubble yesterday by
Yeah.
telling me that don't pay heed to rumors about Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But I think City is desperate enough to pull that off. Um, how does it work for a player who's made it big in Manchester United to join Man City? How does it work? How does it work? I don't know. I mean, it's like it's like expecting a guy who's made it big in Liverpool to go ahead and join Manchester United or Everton. I don't know how this works. I really don't know how this works.
But
Does
Ronaldo
it? Does it?
doesn't care about all
Does it?
that.
But okay,
I
since we are advertising people, don't you think it'll have a big dent on his brand image and the amount of, because most of his money is coming from outside football? Won't it make a big dent in any of that? Or do you think his Real Madrid days are far more, which they are? I mean, data wise they are, but from a brand point of view, they are bigger than his Manchester United days.
They are, but I see Ronaldo as like a Zlatan-esque character who just cares about his own image and not about loyalties to clubs. Like Zlatan played for both the Milan sides, and nobody questions him. And Ronaldo is that stature of a player that people won't question his decision to move to City. It'll just be funny for to like see United fans admitting that Messi is a better player just because Ronaldo's at City. I want it for the banter. I really want it to happen because of that, but otherwise I really don't see it happening.
Yeah, banter guaranteed. Banter guaranteed. There'll be a lot of
Yeah.
banter. And you might even see pigs flying towards him. Yeah,
Yo.
yeah, that might happen too.
Yeah, yeah. So moving on to the next game was Brighton versus Watford.
Do we
2-0.
want to discuss this? Do we want to discuss this?
I just don't know. I mean, I have two Brighton players in my team right now. I should be discussing this, but
Okay,
I didn't.
let me tell you the most interesting data point from this, okay? Which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that maximum shots on goal came from center backs in this match. I think
Oh,
that says enough about the way the game was
wow.
played.
But that's good for Duffy, right? I mean, it must be him. All of those shots, right?
There was Cleverly also. Cleverly had more shots on goal than Sarr. Okay. So it was all about set pieces and corners and heading. That's how the game progressed. So I mean we can talk about it. I think okay. I was very happy to see Mope score twice in a row. That's one thing I was very happy about.
That
Um,
literally never
I think he's
happens.
I think he's been very unlucky over the past two
Hmm.
seasons.
Hmm.
He he is a good player. He has great potential, and I hope this is his season and he gets his at least he matches the levels of Chris Wood when it comes to the number of goals in the season. I hope he does well.
Do you see him as a FPL prospect?
A lot of people would have if he didn't have his shoulder injury this game. A lot of people would have definitely.
Yeah, he's also like full of shithousery. You know.
Such an easy shift from Tony. Around three and a half, three and a half, the 350K, 361K managers have moved on from Tony. Mope would have been another option.
And what do you feel about Dennis as a option?
I think his days are numbered, and I have a feeling the next game you'll see Josh King start and Dennis won't start.
Oh, acha. मतलब what are you basing that on?
I'm basing that on the number of like see the Arsenal game was no sorry the Aston Villa game was one game. The Watford game was different. In the 11 minutes and the 20 minutes that Josh King and Troy Deeney and Josh King played respectively, they made more. They had more chances. They were more attacking, and that's why I feel that Dennis his days will be numbered. And anyway, I mean, when you pay so much money to get, which for Watford was a lot of money to get in a striker like Josh King, you are bedding him in, and he will eventually become the first choice striker for Watford.
Did he look good after coming on?
Did anyone look good in that game?
I mean, Josh King hasn't played in millenniums. I mean, I don't know if he'll just get straight into the team.
Let's
But
see. Let's see. That's why
the
he's being bedded in. He's being bedded in for sure, and that's why
hmm,
he was subbed on. But
hmm,
I think I have a feeling that he will get the striker spot sooner than
hmm.
later.
Right. Moving on to Southampton versus United, 1-1 draw. What do you think led to this? Like everybody predicted a Southampton mauling by the hands of United.
I remember Siddharth telling me something before, while we were having a discussion on who to captain and who to go for.
Hmm.
Say 48 hours before the game week started. He said
Hmm.
something very interesting. He said that if you go back and you look at all the times Southampton has been mauled,
Hmm.
Hasenhüttl comes back with a very strong plan for defense.
Yep.
And usually that happens in game week 2, 3, 4, 5. This time it happened in game week 1.
Hmm.
And what we saw was a reaction to that, I think. That was there. Secondly, I think when Bruno, when Stephens did what he did with Bruno, and Bruno went ahead and argued with the referee and got a yellow card, from that point on, he was not at his best. And I've heard so many people second this thought, so many podcasters second this thought. So it was there for everyone to see. And Bruno could still have got a few chances. I mean, he could have had a few returns because of the fact that he was sending those indirect free kicks. And I think Lindelof had a chance where he could have scored.
Hmm.
So I think that went wrong. And yeah, I think Greenwood was extremely lucky to get the goal which he did. But nobody has the right to take anything away from Greenwood, because the fact that he was there in that position to take a shot, that in itself speaks volumes about his ability, like the way he's developing as a striker.
Yeah, he's just in the right positions all the time. And Pogba again looked really good in that game. But I think it was Martial who hindered their progress. He was just
I think Martial
invisible.
has, I think Martial has naked pics of Ole. There's no other reason for Ole to start Martial. There's no other reason.
Yeah, I mean, United fans keep going on about that one season where he went crazy and he was looked like a lethal goal scorer, but he hasn't shown any signs of repeating that form. I don't know why Ole keeps giving him those chances again and again. I think it'll
He's
be
he's blackmailing him. That's it. I'm telling you. There's no other. There's no reason for it.
yeah. I don't see him starting again anytime soon, and maybe that's gonna be good for all the United
Greenwood,
assets going
and it's going to
forward.
be great for good owners. It'll be a very very good for Greenwood owners,
Yep.
because I think even with Sancho coming back, and maybe Rashford is also to come back soon, if I remember right.
Hmm.
It'll be good news for Greenwood owners.
Yeah, so I don't really know what to do with Greenwood. Like I thought
Sit with him.
that after
Sit
a
with him.
few weeks he'll have his first blank and that's where I'll make the move. I'll be like, okay, good. I got all that I could from him, and now I can move on because he's not a starter for me even at this point. What do you think
He's
about
a. I'll
Greenwood?
just repeat some. I'll repeat something you said. Okay.
Hmm.
He's a better striker than Torres,
Hmm.
and he might start 2 out of 3 games.
Yeah.
And he's an absolute XG defier. He's able to convert shots, which a lot of good players, or better players, are also not able to convert. And I think Greenwood is a hold for sure. I would advise people against buying him, but if people have him, he's a hold for sure. For sure.
Hold for how long? I mean, the Wolves
Till
and
there is
Newcastle
clarity.
game for sure,
Till there is
but
clarity. Till there is
post that
clarity, or
their fixtures also turn uh,
yeah,
and
so then you can move on. I mean, the fixtures don't exactly turn, because if I remember right, there is a purple shade Everton at home. I don't look at it as a purple shade fixture. I don't. So you can still hold him on till game week 7 if he is starting. Why not? And I mean,
like
he's
depending on how
constantly.
Everton's looking by that time. I mean, even Rafa hasn't got a chance to really um, set up the team the way he wants to, and he admitted that post match that these players are new to me, and it'll take me some time to get them to do the things that he wants them to do. But I don't want a striker against any Rafa team. I think, uh, but let's see how things look. But as of now, I'm still looking to ship out Greenwood after the Newcastle game,
But for
because
whom?
yeah, after that there's West Ham, there's Aston Villa at home, which is also a good fixture. And then there's Everton, there's Leicester away, Liverpool home, Tottenham away, City home,
So
Watford away,
yeah, till
Chelsea away.
I think till Leicester, it's a good run. Till Leicester, it's a good run. Post Leicester, when they have Liverpool and City within 3 game weeks, then it's a little. That's where it gets tough. But till
Hmm.
Leicester, you can hold him. You can hold him if he starts.
Probably.
Unless you have a very good option who comes up in that price bracket.
The Leicester game's October 16th, and I think it's the same time around which European games will start to kick off.
No,
Um,
European games are starting on the, I think, right after the international break. There is a EPL match, and then the group matches will start from the midweek of that week. I think the draw is happening tonight.
yeah, the draw is tonight. The draw is tonight.
Draw is tonight, and I just check. I think the Champions League matches will start right in between game week 3 and 4.
Let me just check. Uh, yeah, it says 20th October. Yeah, 20th October it says. Yeah. So that is the time around. The Leicester game is 16th October. Yeah.
Yeah, so 20th October is quite late. No? Then it's what, game week 6, 7,
Six. Yes, 6. Game week. It's game week 8 actually.
and
Yeah.
when is Europa starting?
Must be the same time. They both start at the same
Hmm.
time. Yeah.
Wow, that makes one decision very easy for me. Anyway, let's see.
Yep.
So moving on, what's the next game?
The
The
next
next one you
game
want to
is
discuss?
Wolves versus Spurs. 1-0 to Spurs.
Somebody teach Traore how to score goals, man. Somebody teach him how to put the ball at the back of the net. Please, someone do that. Please, somebody do that. Anyway,
Yeah.
what do you think about Jimenez? Let's get to Jimenez. We both love him as a
Ah,
FPL asset. You started with him. What do you think about him right now from whatever you've seen?
I started with him as the smart ass pick because I knew I would want him
And
game week 3.
it's a great pick. It's a great pick. Anyone who started with Jimenez, I think they did the right thing.
Yeah, it's just so harsh, man. Like the way Bulls have been playing, the amount of shots they've had, to not get even a single return from Jim is just disheartening. And I mean, I don't know if it's a confidence issue because he's back from such a long injury. There's some people even saying that he's not looking like the same player, but I don't think so. I mean, it's just he had tough fixtures for sure, and it'll just take him some time to gel back into the team. So I'm firm with him. I'm going nowhere with him. He's on penalties also, so I don't mind him dropping in point 0.1 in price, but I wish I didn't start with him because I could have him for point 0.1 cheaper by now without missing out on any points.
Yeah,
3 points
yeah,
in two
that's
games is rough. The way Wolves
yeah,
have played, it's rough.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you don't get the returns for even for making the right decisions, and it's just that.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, but I think it'll be the first goal which will open the floodgates. Till that happens,
can't wait for it.
all it'll take is just that one goal, just that
Yeah,
one goal. Because imagine the kind of mental stress, the baggage of the trauma which he's carrying from his injury.
yeah,
It
yeah.
must be so hard for him to get that first goal. But once he gets it, the old Jim is going to be back and a better version of it. Because under Bruno Lage, he's going to be definitely better than what he was
There
under
was
Bruno.
that one moment where I don't remember who it was. Maybe Naves chipped the
Cross to
ball
him.
to toss to him. It was in the air. And I was like, that's going in. Like Jimenez is right under it, and he's just gonna bury it with that new headband of his, which will add like insane amounts of velocity to the ball. But he didn't connect to it, and I was so shocked because I'm not used to seeing that from him. I was like, maybe I'm expecting too much out of him because he's in my
He
team.
did. I think he connected. He chested the
Eh,
ball and then took a shot, which
Yeah,
is
which is unlike him. Like he does things first. Like the first time he'll take the shot and it'll be on target and it'll be a good shot. That's what you expect from him. But I'm not losing heart because the fixtures are there. With these fixtures he can't fail. I simply can't go wrong with it. So I'm just gonna hold firm with him.
I'm
Um, pa-
I'm
pa-
I'm loving the positions Semedo is occupying,
Me too.
and
Me too.
I'm loving because it's reminding me of Doherty, the kind of positions he used to occupy back
He's
in
my
Wolves.
he's the prime candidate in my team to replace Target. Also because of his price.
Yeah, makes sense.
And the fixture, and like I just never have to bench a defender, and I can forget about my defense forever once I get him. And he has the attacking upside, and Wolves look pretty solid defensively also. They've been pressing really well, and earlier or in this before the season kicked off, we thought that they might not be as good defensively because Bruno is a very attacking minded manager, but maybe that's not the case. Maybe they're just good. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Apart from
I,
that,
I'm just a
I
little concerned about Semedo's ability to score goals, but if he
hmm,
can, he will. I mean, he will be a crazy guy to own. Another thing which I'm a little concerned about is how long is Wolves going to stick to a back three, because Bruno
hmm,
Lage prefers playing a back four. So these are two
hmm.
factors which one should wait and watch for, and I think the easier fixtures will let us know what is he
Hmm.
going to do.
Anything from Spurs worth mentioning?
Spurs has just been very lucky to get two clean sheets back to back.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree.
I think
And
Regulon is the incorrect bandwagon everyone is getting on, because the clean sheets are going to dry up very soon. Very soon they will dry up, and
maybe, yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe not. I mean, it's a Nuno team, and we've seen him repeatedly do that at Wolves. Just score a goal, park the bus, defend the lead, and just the same old Nuno shit. And now he has a better team to do that with. So and with Regulon, he's really covering that entirety of that left wing. He has that attacking upside also to him, and I don't see that happening a lot from the right channel. So maybe at five, Regulon is actually a good pick, uh, and because they're setting up so defensively, we've also seen like Loris put up two monster hauls back to back. He has 6 bonus points, and
yeah, Loris I think is a better option than Regulon. Although it does sound counterintuitive, but if
yeah,
I go by your logic,
yeah,
I see Loris as a better uh, pick
yeah.
than
So I
Regulon.
was I was telling Ruben the same thing, that he got 12 bonus points in the entirety of last season, and he's got six already within 2 games. Like
Yeah,
something has
that's insane.
clearly changed about the
Yep,
the
yep,
team.
yep,
And
yep, yep.
Ruben had Fabianski, and he immediately transferred in Loris.
Makes sense. Makes complete sense. But
Yeah.
I think I think the clean sheets are not going to. I still feel they are not going to stay uh, for as long. And my only fear with Loris is the fact that there are these random days when he has viral, when he has viral fever and he disappears. There'll be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
one day when you'll see he's not there on the team sheet. Out due
Hmm.
to illness.
बकचोदी मत कर यार,
So
पॉडकास्ट चल
that's
रहा है.
my only fear with Loris. But anyone who's going for Loris, good call. Good call.
Yep, yep, yep.
What's the
Uh,
next match then?
Next game's Arsenal versus Chelsea. The Rom show. It was the big blue guy. He's just running the
Yep.
show, and the
Yep.
numbers he put up were like scary stuff. If you don't own
Just,
him,
just want to pause you here. I'm
yeah.
sending you a WhatsApp picture. Just
Hmm.
have a look at that, and maybe it's something we might want to highlight later on. Yeah, check this out. So yeah, you're talking about Big Rom, and I think he's got the third or fourth highest number of shots on goal
Hmm.
out of just one game.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So that's there. That's there. And but yeah, I think Saka had an off day,
Hmm.
which gave Reece James a license to just own the right hand side completely. And on any other given day, Saka would not have allowed Reece James to do that.
Hmm.
Um there were the two main CBs were missing. Gabriel was missing. Ben White was missing. Um, it was at
भाई
Arsenal
मत
home.
करना
Still,
बदतमीज.
they were so bad. Still, they
दो
were so
मिनट.
bad. So that is one thing to keep in mind. I think Chelsea has a lot to offer this year. There's no doubt about that. Chelsea has a lot to offer, but it will be a mistake to look at their performance against Arsenal and come to the conclusion that
Yeah, I mean they
Chelsea
made
is
Brentford look like
Chelsea Chelsea is
Barcelona.
fixture proof. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, the godfather of FPL has brought in Lukaku. Mark Sudden's. He has brought in Lukaku. He did an early transfer to bring him in.
Hmm.
He's the godfather. He knows better, but I don't think that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, but that kind of game actually can influence decisions. Even the godfathers of FPL are, you know, you can't escape from it. It
Susceptible
was a
to mortal emotions.
yeah, it was a crazy performance. I mean, and Lukaku, the kind of player he is, he's really versatile. He's good off the ball, and because of that, he makes so much space, creates so much space for the other guys, and I think he'll have a lot of assists also by this season, which makes him just a foolproof asset. You know, you can't really go wrong with him. But
Yeah,
I am really hoping to see him get bullied this week by VVD and Matic.
that won't happen. That won't happen. That won't happen. And I'll tell you why. Um, Anyone who's watched WWE as a child will expect a wrestling match to happen this week. I was
Hmm.
also expecting the same, but then I listened to the Red Men podcast and a few more Liverpool podcasts,
Hmm.
and in one of them, somebody made a very interesting observation, which is that Van Dijk doesn't engage physically with players as much.
No, I think
His
that'll be
style of
Matic's. That'll Matip's role. That'll be to cover him.
you know who would do that if he was
Hmm.
starting? Gomez. Gomez is the
Hmm.
guy who would do that. I see Gomez do that with people. He's the guy who tries to, because Van Dijk is too intelligent for that kind of style. He waits for the first touch to become the second touch and then intercept. He will
Hmm.
wait for you to turn around and then he will intervene. He's
Hmm.
not he's not a grappler. He's
Hmm.
not somebody who grapples with players to break them. So
Hmm. Hmm.
Matip, yes, between the two, there might be a match between him and Matip. And yeah, but I am shit scared, and I have a dirty feeling that uh, Chelsea might just
Come on, man. I mean, I
win
need
the.
something from you. I am a Mane owner. I don't have Bruno. I need you to fuck them over this game. Like, give me something.
I see. My something comes usually 24 hours before the game, and I gave you something last week.
You did,
So
you did.
yeah, so then yeah, I mean, let's see, let's wait and watch. I just feel that the only way that things might be a little different is if I think it's whoever owns the midfield is going to win that game, and our midfield is very weak compared to the Chelsea midfield. Our midfield is very weak compared to this, and
Ah,
Fabinho is also not
you're
back.
killing me right now.
Fabinho is Yeah, Fabinho is not back. If Fabinho was starting, I wouldn't be this stressed. The match is going to be decided in the midfield, and yeah,
So,
that's where my fear
about
lies.
white owners, you think they should just get rid? Because I
I
mean,
am a white owner. I am a white owner. I'm not getting rid.
you're not.
I'm a white owner. I'm not getting rid. I'm a white owner. I am okay with him dropping as much as he drops.
Hmm.
Um, I will hold on to white. I will hold on to white. Yes,
Aubameyang, by the way, scored a hat trick last night.
I know.
Uh,
I know. Oba scored a hat trick, got an assist. Pepe got an assist and a goal. Lacazette got a goal. Saka got a goal. I think they decimated West Brom 6-0. So I saw the extended highlights, the 21-minute highlight of the game. And yeah, I mean, that's part of my stupid plan. It's part of my stupid plan.
get
I have a
in.
very, I have a very stupid plan. I have a very stupid plan.
I
Very
want to
stupid plan.
listen to it. We'll come to it. So the last game, West Ham versus Leicester. Ah, great game.
Okay.
Great game.
Great game, and karma, not karma, but I saw some level of poetic justice in that, because for the
Hmm.
last 2 seasons, Leicester has been destroying teams after they get a red card, and
Hmm.
it was fun to see the same happen to them. I love
Yeah.
Leicester, I love West Ham, nothing against them, but
I loved it
these are
too
the
because of obvious reasons. Because I
yeah,
love every time Leicester get fucked. I just love it.
yeah.
I fucking hate Brendan Rodgers. And I don't know what
Uh,
the fuck he's up to playing Perez on the right wing. I just love it when he gets fucked.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
it's sort of bittersweet because he won't be able to play Perez again for the next 3 games and they might look like a better side. But what a fraud, man. What a
What do you
fraud.
think? People who have Barnes, should they hold on to him for the Norwich match?
I don't recommend it because I mean, I if Iheanacho comes into the side, which he should, I mean, it's unfair what's happening to him after the season he had last year, uh, and with Perez out, he should be back in, and I don't see them functioning together, Barnes and Iheanacho in the same team. So it's a hard sell for me. I mean, maybe you hold, but for me personally, I'd sell. I'd sell.
Hmm, 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 hmm.
Hmm.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And what about Pereira? Mm, he's been occupying some really nice.
Don't
Uh,
trust their defense. I just don't trust their defense. I fucking hate Leicester. You know I hate Leicester. Why are you making talk about their options? You should be talking about them. You should give some reasoning about.
if they didn't have a red card,
Yeah.
and if Newcastle didn't give away the penalty,
And if
do
Westergaard
you
was
think
fit,
do you think these performances, these matches would have made you just as happy?
I think West Ham was easily in control of the game even before the red. Um, so I don't think that affected the outcome. And I just think Leicester are just pure shit. So I don't want to talk much about them. Yeah.
So yeah, we can move on then.
So
There's
yeah,
no
that's
point
yeah.
talking
That's
about shit teams.
no. Please go ahead. Like put something. across. If you saw something from Barnes in that game, or
I just feel Pereira will be very
hmm,
interesting to own,
hmm,
um,
hmm,
and I don't see him as a better option than Shaw
hmm,
right now. I don't see him as a better option because once the once Lindelof goes away and Varane comes in, the defense is going to get better. Um, and if they are able to get Ruben Neves, then they'll have a stronger holding midfielder. Their pivot
hmm,
will get stronger immediately. So I think a lot of people are shipping out Shaw, which is wrong. But so if I didn't have Shaw,
hmm,
if I had Digne, I would have maybe thought of bringing in Pereira. And as I said, the left flank of Norwich is poor, and Pereira plays on the right hand side. And if Brendan decides to play a back three, then Pereira is a wing back. If Brendan decides to play a back four, there is a high chance that Pereira plays as the right winger. So
hmm.
uh, even in a 4-1, not 4-1-4-1, I think he if he does like if whatever is the right wing slot, I feel Pereira might occupy that. He will play an advanced right wing role, and against a Norwich left flank, why not?
Hmm.
But yeah, then that's being very myopic. That's only looking at one match at a time.
Hmm.
In the long run, I agree. The problem with Leicester is you never know when will they concede to which team.
Yeah,
That makes them
it's
very unreliable. Like
it,
you can never own a Leicester player because of the fixture run. It's
unless it's
almost like
Justin.
unless it's Justin. And Justin was
Yeah,
also like you didn't own him for the fixture run. You just owned him because he was a 4.5 starter, and then you never gave up on him because he never gave up on
yeah, yeah.
you, irrespective of the fixtures.
Hmm. Yes, yes, yes. So that's it for the fixtures. We covered all of that. Uh, let's move on to the topics of the week. City striker Farhan, we sort of covered, but the big news coming in right now, as we speak, is that Ronaldo has agreed terms to Pep with Pep as things stand, and it's just up to Juventus to if they agree to the deal. Which is it's all that remains is for Juventus is to accept the inclusion of a City player, which is a big if, it's a big ask
Mm.
from Juventus.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. I'll definitely. Uh, I mean, the more there are players who help break the template, the more FPL becomes fun.
Ronaldo to FPL. It's just what did I just read, man? That
Let's
sounds
see.
insane.
Let's see.
It's too much to digest for me right now.
Yeah.
But if that
So,
happens,
mm, how
it's
much will he
it's
be for?
yeah,
12.5?
easily 12.5, 13 even. He'll be on
13?
pens for sure. He'll earn that price tag. You you read that stat that Imran posted on the group
Yeah, yeah,
yesterday,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Mbappe and Haaland will have to score 47 goals,
45 plus
45,
goals
47, 45 plus goals every year to match
till the age of
Ronaldo's current
36.
till the age of 36 to match Ronaldo's current record. He's a monster. So, yeah, easily capable of breaking FPL. We
Yeah,
were hoping Messi would do that, but this transfer window just is never fails to amaze me. It's been crazy. But I still don't see it happening. I still don't see it happening. It's AS who is reporting this, so it's pretty credible.
Hmm. Let's see. I will hold my reactions till it happens.
Yeah. Anyway, so what else is
We've
there to talk
already
about?
we've already been it for 1 hour and a half.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah, yeah. Let's glide through the rest of the stuff. Chelsea have their final bid ready for Jules Koundé apparently.
Yeah,
If
Jules
if
Koundé
that
and Saul Niguez both will happen.
you think that'll happen,
Yeah, both deals will get through.
that'll be great. If Saul is a great prospect. Like I've been following his career in Atletico, and I really like him as a not as an FPL prospect, but he'll surely
What he can
improve
bring to
the
the team.
what he can bring to the team for sure. For sure.
Mm. That'll happen, and of
Mm.
course, Koundé coming in makes them even a very strong team to defend the Champions League this season.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
Because it will give them the depth they require on the right hand side in terms of
Hmm.
defense.
I have classic form versus fixture battle written down as a topic.
I think that's the thing. I mean, starting game week 4,
Hmm.
Wolves has an insanely good run of matches.
Hmm.
Starting game week, uh, I mean, you can actually say starting game week 3 if you ignore the Liverpool match. Starting game week 3, uh, Leeds has a very
Leeds.
good run
Hmm.
of fixture.
Yep.
Um, so what does one do? And starting game week 4, West Ham's run of fixture gets a little tough. West Ham is right on top in terms of, at least in terms of their attackers in Benrahma and Antonio. Even Fornals, he also managed to score. Bowen has also been going under the radar. He has been posting some really good underlying stats. He is
Yeah.
going under the
All
radar.
of like
So
their attack is so fluid. All
attack
of
is
them look
so
like
fluid.
all of them look
So
like
so
even Fornals.
what
Even
do you,
Fornals.
so So what do you think? Let's so West Ham. There's no point discussing because I think they are in a good place right now. So they might be able to. They will definitely higher chances of them being able to sustain these
Hmm.
levels. But
Hmm.
then again, Europa is starting, so that might throw a spanner in certain ways. And this is their first time ever in the Europa. So it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a team which is used to that. Nor do they have the depth to manage it.
They don't.
Um,
It's unbelievable that they didn't sign another striker,
yeah.
knowing that they're gonna have to play in the Europe. So
But what about Wolves? What about Wolves? I would like to talk about Wolves.
yeah.
What do you think will happen to Wolves? Are they going? Is it? Do you think? Like I am considering bringing in Jimenez after the international break. He's at 7.4 right now. I'm hoping
Hmm.
he goes down to 7.3. And I that's a transfer which maybe it's a bias I have because of something which I had planned from before. What do you think about that? Does it make sense
It
to go
makes
for a go
complete
for a
sense.
Jimenez, go for a Jimenez over a DCL, go for a Jimenez over an Antonio? Does it make sense?
It sort of does because there are other options, a lot of options to jump onto, in case it doesn't work. But I think with the fixture run that they have, there's very little chance of it not working out. Watford away, Brentford home, Southampton away, Newcastle home, Villa away, Leeds away. It's just a crazy run of fixtures, and the form is there. They're playing well. I don't think you can go wrong with Jimenez.
Podence is back. Podence is back.
Podence is back. He got minutes, which is great for the team, of course. So yeah. I'm excited about their turn of fixtures, and it's the same with Leeds. You can't go wrong with Leeds because they constantly attack, regardless of the opposition, and they
So if a team, so specific to Leeds, if a team already has Rafinha, a lot of people already have Rafinha.
hmm.
Does it make sense to go for a Bamford on top of Rafinha instead of DCL?
Instead of DCL for sure, because I don't really rate Everton's chance creation abilities, but I do rate Leeds' attack. So what we might have seen from Everton in the first few game weeks could be an anomaly, you know. they might not be the team that we're hoping they are. I mean, it's a possibility. I personally, this is a personal opinion. I rate Bamford way more than I rate DCL. So
Same here, same here, same here. And Bamford also is a solid
hmm,
source of assists compared to
hmm,
DCL.
hmm, 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 hmm,
Solid source of assists.
hmm, hmm. So
Anything else? Anyone else which comes to your mind in terms of the fix? Okay, if I look at the reverse side of it,
hmm.
does it make sense to drop Ings just because his fixtures are going bad?
It does to me because it's not just the fixtures. The numbers and the data has also been bad. I'm not a stats kind of a person, but as of now, they just don't seem to be creating enough chances for him. And he is a lethal finisher, but 8 is a lot to ask. You know, at that price, you're getting Jimenez at that price. There's Lukaku who will be available in a few weeks. Not there's Bamford with a better run,
Now,
and
now comes the bomb.
yeah,
Does it make sense to bring in Aubameyang given the fixture run which Arsenal has, or Pepe or Saka?
no, not for me. It's like I just don't see them functioning as a team as of now. In these two games, they got absolutely decimated by Chelsea. So
Auba didn't play these two games.
yeah, he didn't
Laka
for
didn't play
sure.
these two games.
He
Saka
didn't. He didn't.
was not in, his fitness levels
It
were not
it
nowhere close
looks
to.
good for now that he's back in the striker spot, but it's a wait for me. I have to
Oh,
see him back up to
they,
up to the levels that he was under Emery. But as of now, it just seems like Arteta he hasn't performed for Arteta at all. He hasn't in the Premier League. So I have to see it before I buy. Personally,
okay,
are you
okay, fair
considering
enough.
that move?
Yeah, I'm considering that move.
Realistically,
Realistically, and my plan basically is to do whatever the fuck I want to do till game week 7. Because
that's a
game week
great
8
plan.
I'm going to play the, yeah, because
That's a
till
great plan.
game week 8 I have my wild card ready. I have had a decent start, so I'm not languishing in 4.2 million like last year. So, and I have a good coverage in terms of template players. I have a fairly decent coverage when it comes to the template players.
Hmm.
So, think why not? Let's just have
So,
some fun.
you've had a good start to the season, and I want to ask you this: like, do you think there's upside in going differential so early in the season? Because by the time game week 7 comes, I think most people would have played their wild cards, and most people would have the same freaking team of Trent, Benrahma, Antonio, Salah, Bruno, Lukaku, all these
Which is why,
guys.
which is exactly why I want to do something mad right now. That is exactly why. Because if
Hmm.
I stick to the template,
Hmm.
I will be sticking to the template only to play the wildcard to enter the template again.
Hmm. Right. Right.
Game week 8 onwards, my team is going to go back to the template.
Hmm. So you'll be targeting
I'll have
specific
4 weeks.
players that the template is going for right now, like Calvert.
No, I'm going to target specific teams and specific weakness areas from there, which data tells me. For
Hmm.
example, for example, the right flank of Burnley and the left flank of Norwich.
Hmm.
For example, for example, um, teams do who are counter attack versus teams who play a high line.
Hmm.
I'm going to go very specific into this, and zero hits. That's the only condition I have. Zero hits.
If you're able to make that work, then there's nothing better.
I mean, if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, I've had my fun for 4 game weeks, and I have my wild card to again save the day. That's all.
Yeah. And it
That's
is
okay.
important to have fun. Like
Yeah, man, it's so
you,
important to
you
have
can
fun.
you can imagine the feels that I had before the season kicked off when I had Mane in my team over Bruno. Of course, Bruno
Yeah,
fucked me game week 1,
but
but
that's
the
okay. But that's okay.
feels, that's
Yeah,
what we play
yeah,
for, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
So these are some of the things which I'm planning to do. It depends on how, and I think the biggest factor in this is two things:
Hmm.
injuries to the existing set of players and
Hmm.
recovery of White.
Hmm.
If that, if these two things don't go in my favor, then my plan goes out of the window. Then I'm not going to do this.
Right.
So I'm doing something crazy, but I'm being very safe about the way I'm
Hmm.
doing it. I'm not committing to madness. I
Hmm.
have my safety net, and I'm willing to back out and play safe if I'm not comfortable 24
Hmm.
hours before the, say, before game week 4.
Right. Right.
And I'm entering the international break with two transfers. So
That's what
let's see.
I'm
Let's
also planning to do because
Yeah.
it seems like there's a lot of unresolved,
The
unanswered
biggest
questions.
the, the biggest fuck up is this ban which FIFA is planning to put on players if they
Yeah,
don't go to
yeah.
play. So
I
FIFA
mean,
is saying कि मतलब FIFA is acting like a certain politician who says ना खाऊंगा ना खाने दूंगा.
yeah, yeah,
कि if you won't play for us, you won't play. And yeah,
yeah.
I
I
mean
mean,
that can
it's
happen. That can
it
happen.
can
That
happen,
can.
and players like high.
What happens to Salah in that case? Because Salah is going for one game.
Hmm.
Will there be an exemption made for him because he's going for one game?
Is it a red listed area?
No.
It's not. Then it.
So okay, he's a Egypt versus Gabon. Okay,
Hmm.
Egypt is red listed, Gabon isn't.
Where's the game going to be played? Is important.
There are two legs to it, home and away.
Hmm. Hmm.
So he will not be going for the Egypt home match. He'll go for the Gabon away match.
Hmm.
But what happens to his case? Will he
What
also have the ban?
if they do ban players? Then I think they'll objectively ban all of the
No,
guys.
but they are going to ban players who don't turn up. But Salah
Hmm.
is technically turning up.
Yep.
So will
True.
he have
True.
like a 50% ban that he can't play more than
I
45
have
minutes?
no clue. I don't have the answers to these questions, and it's
Because Salah is such a good captaincy option against Leeds.
yeah. But we'll know that by the time game week 4's around.
And
So
if that happens, I see Lukaku shoot up even more. Because Lukaku is up against Aston Villa.
yeah.
And if
Then
Salah
even I'd be
cannot
considering that
start,
move for sure.
I will too. If Salah
Hmm.
cannot start, then you straight away get in Lukaku and captain him for the match.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. We're running long. Let's just get to captaincy shouts.
Yeah. So
So
I think it's very important to look at captaincies without the without getting colored by just what happened, and looking at things a little bit from a slightly more stable point of view. And I'm saying this because of the two goals which Antonio got after the red card.
hmm.
Having said that, if I had Antonio in my team, it would be very hard for me to not put the captain armband on him. So I'm saying the right thing, but I also know how difficult it would have been for me if I didn't have him. If I
So
did have him.
you're not considering getting Antonio. You think he could be a possible rank destroyer?
I'm inspired by the fact that you didn't get in the defensive rank destroyer last season. It's okay. There
Hmm.
are there are many ways to play the game, and
Hmm.
2 weeks is too soon to take a call. In the first two game weeks, Jimenez had, I think, 2 goals and 2 assists, or 3 goals and 1 assist, something like that last season. In the first game week, Sterling had a hat trick, and then he didn't
Hmm.
go on to score for the next 7, 8 game weeks 2 seasons back.
Hmm.
So there are so many examples if we keep going back. And this is something which I was discussing with Siddharth also, is that I can get onto Antonio anytime I feel like. It's not impossible. Antonio is not at a Lukaku price point that I can't get onto him. Nor is he at a very uncomfortable 9.5 price point where Sun existed last season. You know, it is difficult to get onto a 9.5 if you don't have a player pre-existing around that price point.
Right.
So Antonio is very easy to get to, very easy to get to. And let's see. I am willing to wait it out a little bit more before I get on to Antonio. And yeah, I mean,
It seems like he might triple rise this week because the
he
numbers are
will,
just
he will, he
pouring
will.
in. Yeah.
But even if he triple rises, he'll reach 7.8. So that's
Hmm.
okay. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I don't have an issue. Even if he gets to
What needs to happen
7.9,
for you to be like, okay, I made a mistake. I should just get him.
if I get to see that once Europa starts, which I checked, and it's happening in the on the I sent you a picture also. It's so Champions League and Europa both are starting around the same time, which is around 15, 16 September, not
Hmm.
October.
Hmm.
So keeping that in mind, I think that is between game week 4 and 5. I want to see how if Moyes has a clean plan for a striker,
Hmm.
if Moyes has a clean plan for managing Antonio's time, and if he prioritizes his 90 minutes in the EPL, I'm going to bring him in. So I'm more scared of getting onto Antonio at a time when people should be getting off him.
Hmm. Right. But maybe he's just
That's
a season hold if he stays fit and he keeps playing the way he is. I mean, that second goal was filthy. That touch was filthy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was definitely. Let's see.
So,
Let's see.
so me
Let's see how
for me,
motivated.
I'm very conventional in terms of captaining. I usually captain a premium, but I don't really have an option but to captain a non-premium asset this week. My only two premiums are Mane and Salah, and they're up against Chelsea. So I am between Greenwood and Antonio, but I'm leaning towards Antonio heavily this week.
It makes sense to go for Antonio over
It
Greenwood at
it
least.
does, right?
And Greenwood is up against. I'm forgetting.
Wolves, who look pretty solid to me. I mean,
And it's where at Molyneux or
it's
Old
at
Trafford.
It's at Molyneux.
Mhm. So it makes sense. I mean, a London versus London match, West Ham home, with the audience back in the stadium. The man is on a high.
Man is on a
He's
high.
just
They have the
become
momentum. West Ham always turn up in the dubs. So,
another big thing. Another big thing.
mm,
He's a far bigger assist potential than Greenwood. That's a very big factor.
true.
That's a very big insurance for getting at least some return from your striker.
Yeah.
It's a big
What about you?
insurance.
Who are you looking at?
Son,
Son?
I'm going for Son. Yeah. So that's why I had three people when I had made my game week one team. I had thought of my captains for the next 7 game weeks between
Hmm.
these three people, and I'm guessing by game week 4 5, I'll know which guy I am going to hop off from, because that's how I'm going to get my money for doing other transfers.
Yeah. And
So
Kane
I'm just
staying.
stick.
So we'll see them set up for the
Kane
first
staying
time
makes
under Nuno, and
Kane Kane
and
staying just makes Son again a very big assist potential uh, player.
Yep.
So yeah, for me it is Son. For me it is Son.
Hmm.
I saw how Watford played um,
Yeah.
in the last game, and the beauty is that Son is on all the corners. So
Yep.
he will be taking all the corner kicks, and he will have a pointsman in Kane right in the center of the box.
Good shout. Good
Um,
shout.
yeah, so I'm playing it safe. I'm going with Son.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I think that's all we have for today,
Hmm.
and
Yeah. Yeah. It's a long
let's
pod. We had a
yeah
lot more to
we-
cover, but we're running way too long.
yeah
So
yeah
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll cover that uh, next time. Next time.
yeah. We can do that, or we can do something tomorrow again. I don't mind. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll call you. We'll figure something out.
Sure, sure,
But
sure.
this
And
was great.
also, and maybe our man uh,
Ratish.
Ratish might also be available tomorrow, so we can do something.
Yeah, yeah. All right, man.
Okay, see you.
See you. This was fun. This was fun. Bye bye. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Now this is for all my ladies, all original gangsters, all my thugs. This is Cutty Ranks, Cobra Khan, picking up all shot callers. 20-inch hardest for rims on my Bentley, sipping on the Hennessy, 5 days but a PT. If you ever see me, don't try to be me, because I'm high as a motherfucker. Strapped to the teeth and grenade and Glock 40, want a war started, Kingfish can't party, pop it off and clot it, now go feel arty, it will make you cry as a motherfucker. Now if you really wanna get your party on, just pick out your cash and girls turn you on, make me see your hands up, make me see your hands up. If you wanna party all night until the break of dawn and have whole heap of girls to go on and on, let me see your hands up, let me see your hands up. Your space you define, try not say nothing, not even a sign, try not show nothing, not even the time, try not tell nothing. And if you see me nine, you no know nothing, pretend like you're blind and no see nothing. And if you see a dime, try not touch nothing, see the war and the crime.